Freestyle Travel. Hey everybody, this is the Freestyle Travel Show, and I am your host, Kenny Flannery, and this episode is going to be a good one. Here in New York City, talking to my friend Mark. He's been best friend since childhood, like 4th grade, and he was my roommate here in New York for some years, right up until the moment I started traveling. So he had no idea I was coming. I got some pretty good audio to play later. I talked to his wife beforehand, and I was like, should we tell Mark I'm coming or just surprise him, prank him somehow? So obviously, that's what we did. So I hid behind the shower curtain when he got back home from work, figuring he would definitely take that after work pee. Scare the crap out of him by opening a beer. The audio is really funny, so I'll actually introduce him, and we'll be laughing about it, talking about it for a few minutes, and then I play the audio from when I was in there. Just so you know, I guess he was washing his face too, so that part goes on for a little bit. Not too long, it's not like minutes long, but I just let the whole thing run to get the full effect of the timing with that, and cracking the beer, and then him being like a deer in headlights. It's good, I'll play that. But yeah, besides that, we just talk about our friendship over the years, and kind of what it's been like for me being on the road for years and years, and just popping in and seeing him every maybe 6 months, every year and a half, whenever I can get back to New York, you know. And we don't really text a whole lot or communicate a whole lot. I mean, we do, but in between. But when we do see each other again, we're just right back on beat, which you'll notice right away. Do a lot of rambling, talking about that, talking about other topics, touching on travel a little bit, but also just drinking some good beers, talking about that, all kinds of stuff, really. Mark's actually a master mixologist, as it were. He works at a pretty well-known, like classic bar in the city, and he's been on TV a few times, mixing drinks on Good Morning America and stuff like that. He's also a casual musician. I used to play drums with him, and actually the music for this podcast in the beginning and the in-between spots, that's one of Mark's songs, Cali. Yeah, pretty good, so that's why I've been using it. And yeah, that's Mark, so I'll jump right into it. I guess not much to say since the last episode, where I was just, because it was only a few days ago, the Creature and Weather episode. I was up with family north of the city. Spent the night seeing family in Connecticut, and then hitched a few rides here just yesterday. And yeah, surprised him, and then kicked it for the night. And I'll be here for a little bit. So yeah, without further ado, here's Mark.
I'm gonna pour you some ambouche. Oh, ambouche. Did you start recording?
Oh, we're live now.
All right. Well, I guess I should let you do the intro, but. You guys don't even know who I am. I'm Mark, and I'm about to pour Kenny some ambush chili pepper liqueur, but it was in such a fancy font.
There's chili in there?
Yeah, there is, yeah. No, it was such a fancy font that I figured it had to be foreign, so I pronounced it ambush.
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 All right, we'll have some ambush.
Yeah, this is, I think it's spicy. I don't know if it...
There's a chili pepper in there. It's called ambush. And there's a picture of a chili on the bottle. So
I don't think they intended to call it ambush. I think that was my stroke of genius here.
Yes, there's a kick to it.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, I would have played the peeing situation. If I had thought ahead, we should have narrated over it. Maybe we still can.
Maybe
people listening to this will be like, "Well, I just heard you narrate over it." How'd you do that?
Studio magic.
Yep. Cheers.
Well, cheers, buddy. I feel like this is reliving some visibly drunk days.
Yeah.
You don't know about that, you listener.
Yeah, they're plebeians. That's a word.
Are we just taking this down? What are we doing? What's the game plan?
Let's take a sip, 2 sip, and then we'll bang it down in time.
All at once. Oh, right. Okay.
There we go.
Ooh, it's just enough, right? But you get the cinnamon too.
Yeah, it's almost like a fireball.
Ooh, and then the lingering heat too.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I wonder what the pepper is.
You're a complicated beast, you ambush.
Oh yeah, we're on the air.
Yeah. So this guy right here. Oh, is the red clipping?
Technically it is clipping. Did it go red?
A little bit, yeah, because I get loud. So this guy, my best friend Kenny, you guys know him well because he hosts this podcast, but I only get to see him maybe once every 6 months or so.
If that, it's been a year.
Yeah. Typically I get maybe 2 days notice when he's going to be arriving. Today I got about 2 seconds notice. So I don't know if we're going to narrate over the situation that happened earlier today, so I'm just going to describe a little bit. I get home from work, I'm, kind of feeling just like tired. I'm just ready to wash my face. Oh, okay. That's my wife.
Time out. Sean's Mark's brother, so we might have a live triple down.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we'll FaceTime him in a second.
All right.
So I come back from work and I'm just feeling like a little tired. I go to use the bathroom and just wash my face a little bit. So, go in the bathroom. I, use the bathroom. Number one.
Yeah,
and then
made sure of that by leaving the toilet seat up.
And then I took an extensive time washing my face because it was a long day. What I didn't know is that Kenny this whole time was hiding in the shower. And mind you, I haven't seen Kenny for a good 6 months. And I had no idea he was even going to be in this country, let alone this state, let alone my shower. So I finished doing my business. I finished, washing my face, and I wish I could replicate it right now, but I hear a beer pop open.
Maybe I'll play it in the background right now.
Awesome. That sounds great. I like the way this podcast works.
Oh, yeah.
You have so many options. I hear this beer pop in my shower. Now, I had just walked in the house. The only people that typically inhabit my house, besides me, are my wife and 2 kids. My wife, I saw when I walked in, so I knew she couldn't have been in the shower. And there's really no reason why my kids would be in the shower opening a beer.
Yeah.
It's like they're teenagers, but still, I don't think, they'd be opening a beer there. So I knew that someone else that was not supposed to be in my house was in my house and in my shower while I'm in the bathroom, while I just use the bathroom. But for whatever reason, as much of a scaredy cat as I am with every single horror movie I've ever seen, I didn't panic. And I was talking to Kenny about this. I think this is a subconscious thing about beer drinkers, is that if you hear that sound of a beer opening, now, let me just say this. It wasn't just the beer opening, but it was followed by beer being poured into a vessel.
Yeah, that's because I opened it and he just went totally silent. So I'm like, I guess I had 2 glasses ready.
Yeah.
So I started pouring it.
And so now I'm on the other side of this curtain. I know that there's a stranger in my house. I don't know who it is. I have no idea that it's Kenny. That really was not in my consciousness at all. And there's a beer being poured a foot away from me behind a curtain. And I don't know if you guys find this as fascinating as I do, but I'm just marveling at my own subconsciousness not freaking out. But I think that part of it had to do with the fact that I was put at ease by the sound of a beer being poured, which pretty much sums up our entire relationship, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll play that. I'll finish playing it now. Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
Want a beer?
That is so fucking scary, man. Oh my god. What the fuck? You were in here while I took a piss. Oh shit.
Cheers, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Cheers. I don't even... I don't even know. That's one for the books,
because he took off his pants and I heard him peeing.
The best was the way that he did it. He cracked the bottle, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Sure, what's up, man? I know this is awkward, but hey, why not?
Good to fucking see.
What the fuck, dude? Let me put some pants on.
This ambush bottle I was just looking at.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a Real Housewives episode that I saw the other day.
Sitting around watching Real Housewives?
Yeah, only on Sunday.
Okay.
So anyway, they went to this restaurant. I don't know what you think about this, where all of the plating and the cocktails were served on like super elaborate like presentation plates. Like there was, so for instance, for the swordfish, it was a gigantic plate with the swordfish and then a gigantic sword. I mean, it was like,
What?
yeah, you couldn't, if you ordered the swordfish and it was right in front of you, you probably couldn't see the person sitting across from you. Like everything was just insane. Like they had,
This is in Manhattan somewhere.
this was Real Housewives of Orange County. So
Yeah. I know. I'm picturing you at the 21 Club, like a blast
Yeah,
swordfish.
no.
Mixed up
that
realities
was
for a
crazy.
second.
And then there was one that came with a toaster. Like they dropped off a toaster at your table.
What? You stick the swordfish in the toaster?
No, it was a different plate. Maybe it was French toast. I don't know. But it was just a gigantic toaster. I mean, by the time they got their first of all, by the time they got their cocktails, the entire, can we swear on your show?
Yeah, you can say whatever the fuck
This
you
is
want.
fantastic. The entire fucking table was covered with gigantic plates. And there was liquid nitrogen and everything, which is all right. That's cool. Which I'll get back to that. I actually used some liquid nitrogen. Probably not successfully, but...
What were you doing?
What
are you up to?
No, I did. I think it was successful. I still haven't answered your question.
Nope.
It's pretty par for the course here. No, I did a guest bartending shift, and the guy that owned the bar, he was really into like liquid nitrogen and stuff. So when I got down there, it was actually a pretty cool concept. I did 2 like infusions. They were like rapid infusions because the liquid nitrogen like volatilized the chemicals or whatever in the different like things you were infusing into liquor. But anyway, I was supposed to do some tableside presentation, and I spent the better part of that time while I was there getting everything prepped for my ingredients and really not learning how to use liquid nitrogen. And then he sent me over to a table, and I had to do a tableside in front of people for the first time.
Without knowing what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
it was scary, man. And then so you always see people like wearing gloves and stuff.
Just barehanded, like blasting people.
Well, he would know.
This is going off. You're like, this is normal.
Just channeling Schwarzenegger from Batman and Robin. No, he never wore gloves either. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. And nobody follow this because I'm not sure if it's true. But apparently liquid nitrogen, if it touches your skin like briefly, it bounces off. Yeah, it's only if you kind of like dunk your hand a little bit. That's
worth a try.
no, don't do this out. But anyway, yeah, so liquid nitrogen.
So success though. Nobody got killed.
Yeah, no, everybody was
Nobody
good.
had shattered fingers.
No. It's not so much the worry about the fingers. I think it's you don't want them to digest any of it.
Oh yeah, be an issue.
Yeah.
All right, sip number 2. And now it's gonna warm up after that.
Sure is.
All right, the next one we'll shoot it. It's pretty good.
It's good stuff.
It is. It is like a fireball, but
Yeah. Good. Just the right amount of heat. Are you still packing your Carolina Reaper?
I've got something. No, it's not the Carolina Reaper dust. My friend's in California. She's got a big garden.
Okay.
So she's got jalapenos, habaneros,
Nice.
serrano peppers,
Yeah.
and a couple other things. Not Scotch bonnets. But yeah,
What?
a bunch of stuff. So she got a smoker.
Nice.
So I picked the peppers and then we threw them right in the smoker.
That's awesome.
And then chopped them up and dehydrated. She had a dehydrator too.
I have one now as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make
And
your own
made a-
jerky if you want.
Made a dust out of it. So I got one mixture that's just purely the dust, I think,
Yeah.
with maybe some garlic powder. And then I got another one we mixed with vinegar.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been traveling with those for the last year because it goes forever.
Yeah.
The dust, like, is it... A lot of people, you blast like one blast and they're just like, can't do it.
When you dehydrate it and you grind it into a dust, you have to make sure you use like the whole chili, like the seeds and everything, because that's where most of the spiciness comes from, right?
I opted for the seeds because I
Yeah.
like it. You know those? I think I made those for you. Those bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers stuffed with chorizo and cream cheese.
Ooh.
Have we do that here? I don't know. I do that, and usually you got to take out all the seeds and the rind because people can't handle it. But
Yeah. Well, I know that. I think it's like 90% or something crazy like that of the spiciness and peppers is in the ribs and the seeds. You know, you probably know this. Okay. We're just taking it back here for a minute.
they can handle it.
Kenny and I go way back, by the way. You remember the time that I got the jalapeno in my eye after I made the chili?
Yeah.
Okay. That happened again.
You live, you learn, you forget. You keep living.
Here's the thing. So now it's kind of like making me think twice about this last time. I always retold that story that I forgot to wash my hands after cutting up the chilies, which even now doesn't make sense because if you guys listen to that clip where I was peeing and then washing my hands and then washing my face.
Hand washing is a significant amount of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, so that you understand, most of that was me washing my face, but still, I'm a thorough hand washer. Anyway, don't judge me.
Yeah, I was in my head while you were doing that. I was like, bartenders are a lot like nurses.
We kind of are.
In the hand washing department. I feel if you go to the bathroom and you see someone washing their hands significantly, you're like, they're probably working in the medical or the bartending.
Exactly. And when I say scalpel, I'm asking for a beer from the shower from you.
What is that thing you get something rot when you like handle citrus too much as a barback?
Ooh. I don't know the exact term for it,
My
but
friend Shauna was talking about it, but yeah, I guess a lot of bartenders get it. Something rot, hand rot. But
yeah, I mean, I know working behind bars, I've definitely had like the crinkly fingers. I don't know about the rot stuff. I'm trying to think what I was talking about.
you were talking about
the jalapenos.
Yeah.
So what happened was maybe 10 years ago, I was making chili.
I'm gonna grab a backup beer.
Yeah, go for it. I was making chili and I diced up the jalapenos, and 2 hours later, after we had eaten, we had cleaned up and everything, I'm sure I washed my hands a couple times, I went to take my contacts out. And apparently some of those oils were still on my finger. And it was just, it was horrible. It was like instant burning in my eye. So the first thing I do, like any self-respecting, I guess, somewhat millennial, is I Google jalapeno in eye. Yeah. And one of the first things
Get some funny YouTube videos first.
Yeah. No, well, unfortunately, I stayed on those funny YouTube videos. So one of the first things I came across was this whole a long list of this guy basically saying this is what you have to do to alleviate your eye pain.
Yeah.
And it's just like they get increasingly more ridiculous towards the bottom of the list, and eventually after like 20 items, which started off pretty tame, like rinse your eyes,
Yeah.
I don't know what else
Rinse
he said
your
after
eyes
that.
with milk.
Yeah, basically. And then by the end of it, he said, just don't put jalapenos in your eye.
Dick.
I was like, you douchebag. 'Cause my eyes are still burning.
Yeah.
But anyway, this happened again like 3 days ago. I was doing a jalapeno infused tequila at work. And again, I should have worn gloves. And I know that's what you're all thinking. I should have worn gloves, but I didn't. So I chopped them all up. And then I made sure hot water, soap and everything. Still, later that night, like long after my shift was over, I went to take my contacts out and I was like reliving the pain all over again. I was like, ah.
Yeah. What did you do? Throw some milk in there or just ride it out?
Yeah, just rinsed it with a milkshake.
Gotta have one at the ready at all times.
But now someone that has jalapeno in their eye is going to listen to this podcast and be like, just rinse with a milkshake. Gotcha.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest, huh?
So you're more versed than I am. What's your favorite Oktoberfest?
I'm not a huge Oktoberfest fan. I don't know.
Because they tend to be much more malt forward and not as much hops.
Yeah, I guess I like a good Oktoberfest, but I don't drink enough of them to key into what a good one would be. Sierra Nevada makes a pretty good one.
Yeah. I was like,
They change it up every year, too.
I look forward to Sam Oktoberfest, but I don't even really know why.
This bottle is different than other years.
It is, yeah.
I don't know. To me, and I think they've done studies on this. It's like, the whole pumpkin spice and Oktoberfest and all these seasonal things. It's like as soon as you see them, you instantly just get reminded of all the fun things coming up in the holidays, which for me is basically just a grueling work schedule. But
This is gonna be
but still,
great.
So I remember 2 years ago, I was in the supermarket, and it was like around August 20th, because you know how the big brands like Sam Adams, maybe Brooklyn too. Well, on the East Coast, Brooklyn is, I guess, a big.
Yeah, you
big
see Brooklyn beers all over the world.
Okay, all right,
Sam in
cool.
France, even.
So I don't sound completely off base.
Thailand. Yeah.
But so a lot of them tend to come out towards the end of August as opposed to September. And I remember walking in the grocery store, and I'm just walking by the beer aisle, and I didn't even intend on buying beer, which is a strange thing to begin with. But anyways,
That's why I'm here to keep you in check.
yeah, no, thank goodness you are. And so I walked past the beer, and then I got this feeling, like a Jedi feeling, like, wait a second. Yeah. Not only did I fuck up, but like, what's the date? Like, it's late August. And then I felt drawn back, and there it was, Sam Adams Oktoberfest was there waiting for me. So I don't know. I like it. I'm usually all about the hops, all about the super strong beers. This is none of those things, but it's comforting.
I'm just happy to be back in the U.S. I was struggling in parts of the world.
Yeah.
Like, Czech Republic was good.
Yeah.
Good beers. Belgium, obviously.
Yeah.
They got their thing going on. Ireland, I was just drinking Guinness, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, man, as soon as I was back in the U.S., up in Boston, I had a really good beer night.
So when Jasmine and I were in Dominican Republic, one thing that was awesome was that they had this focus on keeping a cold Presidente in your hands at all times. One of the weird things about that was that they would oftentimes swap it out. Like, so at
You blasted without me, you son of a bitch. You ambushed me. How'd you even do that? I'm going to listen back to this recording and try to key in the moment that you... All right, well, finish my ambush.
I finished my mushi or ambush or whatever it's called. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's cold. Cold Presidentes?
Cold Presidentes. This one guy was so focused on keeping a cold Presidente in my hand, and I think it was just to get a really good tip, right? So I would get like 3 sips down, and mind you, it was at a wedding. We were like, open bar, so I'm drinking other things, rum.
So he'd
whatever.
bring you one when you're down to like 2-3 sips?
Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, he would like swap it out. He would keep an eye. And
If you weren't done, he'd just take it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he would just swap it out. He'd be like, no, that's warm now. Which doesn't speak a lot to I like Presidente. It's a good beer for that refreshing sort of super cold.
When it's cold as hell and you have no other options.
But I kind of saw why he was doing that, because really at a certain point you probably wouldn't want to drink it, you know. But it was kind of crazy because he probably went through like, sometimes I felt like he swapped out the beer, and I feel like he may have swapped it out again before I had noticed that he brought the first one.
I guess that'd be easy for him because he doesn't have to eyeball drinks and be like, all right, when it gets this low, I should bring it. He's just like, every 12 minutes, I should bring that person a new beer.
Yeah. But then I started to feel this sense of pressure. I was like in the wedding, like downing it. I gotta make more progress in this one. He's gonna judge me.
When I'm 3/4 full still.
And then by the end of the time, he was very clear to let me know when his shift was over. It gave me a look like, I brought you like a case of beers tonight. Damn. I'm like, yeah, but I only drank like 2.
So what happened when they offered you like money and a ticket? Because it was right before, was that Irma? Hurricane?
So it was right before Hurricane Irma, and we were on our return trip. We left Tuesday. Let me get the date right. So we got the 31st. Tuesday the 5th, I think.
Yeah. And
Irma hit. Well, it didn't really affect too badly the Dominican Republic, but it made, I guess, landfall or swept by the 6th. So it was going by the 6th. So on our return trip, they overbooked the flight, which maybe it's just me. I don't understand that. I don't get how flights get overbooked. Do you understand that?
A little bit. I've been more curious lately because I heard a little tidbit that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
But I think they overbook them because consistently, and I'm making this number up, 3 to 10% people always are no-shows or cancel.
Yeah.
So it makes financial sense for them to always overbook it by 3 to 10% or whatever it is. Yeah.
But especially after what happened with, what was it, American Airlines?
That whole
Oh, someone getting dragged off. and
yeah,
stuff.
like why would you?
I think
take that
most of the
risk?
time there's always 1 or 2 or 10
are
people
like-
that are like stoked to
Yeah.
get that incentive. That
But
they
when
give
there's
you.
a hurricane coming, I think the whole game changes.
Yeah, but maybe they don't know because that flight probably started getting booked months.
Yeah,
ago.
that's true. Yeah, so they offered us like $800 per person. So it was my wife and I, which would have been, I mean, that would have been substantial. That would have been like a good chunk of rent right there. And yeah, we ultimately decided not to do it for a couple reasons. The kids were starting school like a couple days later, first day of school, so we didn't want to miss that. The hurricane was coming. They said they were going to hook us up with a 5-star hotel, but who knows where that was going to be. You know what I mean? Like it was just too many
Yeah.
variables, and we were like, let's just get home. So I'm glad we did that, but
Well, it sounds like you would have been screwed if you
we would have been. Yeah, we
stayed.
probably would have stayed a couple extra days.
because the storm hit and everyone was
Yeah.
stuck, right?
I mean, if I were anywhere that I was familiar with, for the most part, I'd probably take that. Like if I was,
Oh, I dream of that. That never
Yeah.
happens for me. I
Yeah.
think I'm always on the cheap flights. This flight from Cork to Providence,
Yeah.
I had a whole thing to myself, all the seats to myself. Yeah. Like I didn't, but I could have laid down on all
you
3
should,
seats.
bro. Yeah.
This is one of the only times when I got there to the check-in. She's
Yeah.
like, "You want a window seat or an aisle seat?" I'm like, "I get to choose."
What?
Sweet, I'll take the window. And then I got there, and it's just like, well, I guess I have the window, the middle, and the aisle.
Yeah, you should have
All
like
myself.
ordered things from the other seats and then claim that they left.
No, those airlines, they don't even give you a bag of peanuts or water. Maybe legally they can give you water, but I didn't even want to roll the dice because I didn't want to ask for water and then be like, it's $2 and be like, whoa, can't do it.
You asked them, and you're like, "So can I get any sort of snack?" They're like, "Legally, we have to give you water and a toilet." And you're like, "Those things are too close."
Yeah. They both come from each other.
Yeah.
We're gonna slosh it around.
It's filtered.
Yeah. We can give you the house pilsner.
What's about? There's nothing standing between you, the house pilsner, and your dreams.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Goddamn Budweiser. I meet people all over the world who think American beer is trash,
I hate that.
and it's hard. Well, it's not hard because I get a kick out of it to tell them that no, actually it's best in the world by a significant margin. Part of it's because the U.S. is huge.
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
So the square mileage of it.
It's huge, and I think that probably. So as craft beer has like been on the rise, and people are really paying attention to all the different nuances of beer. What's great is that you get, and I'm sure there's a technical term for this, like these little microcosms throughout the country, right? So it's like
Niches, yeah.
everybody's own attempt at it, which simply because of the space involved creates a certain amount of differentiation.
Well, yeah,
between them.
more accurately, you'd have to compare U.S. beers to European beers as a
Right.
whole.
Yeah,
you couldn't
absolutely.
because there's no way that you could say Belgian beers versus U.S.
Yeah.
because it's unfair. It's just
So
way
we're
more space.
basically like the same as a whole continent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Hell yeah.
I looked it up actually to drive from. I gotta check this again. I think it was from Edinburgh to Istanbul. Was shorter than driving from Seattle to Miami.
What?
Yeah, I gotta look that up again. I think that's what I searched,
Yeah.
but it was.
Yeah, I mean, the States,
Pretty
it's
close.
a huge country. It's
Yeah.
huge. I mean, you know that more than anybody. I haven't traveled really at all. Kenny, the reason why you're listening to this is because he has traveled quite a bit.
It's a travel podcast.
A travel podcast.
Now visibly traveling.
So to provide a little context, because I don't think we really did it at the beginning, is that so Kenny and I were best friends since 4th grade, and we also were roommates leading up until the time in New York City, leading up until the time that Kenny decided to pack up and just start traveling. So my brother, myself, and a couple other friends that were living with us saw this transition of Kenny not only deciding to do this, but also start to formulate the very initial plans of moving, really just letting go of everything, like no safety net and just embarking. So, at this point, you guys get to kind of really listen to his perspective more than a decade later. But what's interesting is that we saw him so say you are thinking about doing this and you have no idea how to start. I remember when Kenny was like that. And I don't know what, maybe you've given this already, but what like one piece of advice would you give to listeners as far as like how to start? Like what's a good starting point for someone that doesn't feel like they have any idea how to begin traveling like full time?
The main thing, and this is shitty, stupid advice, is just to do it.
Yeah.
Well, no, people get caught up on like, how much money do I have saved up? That's usually the big one. And
Like overthinking a little bit.
yeah, just like, when is going to be the perfect time? And the perfect time is just like, as soon as you can cut your anchors. You know?
Yeah.
Like, to me, the anchors are your job. Like, I don't know. You don't want to just like quit unless it's a super shitty job and you hate your employers and they treat you like trash. Like, you're not just going to leave. Like, you want to at least give them some notice, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe kid or a girlfriend makes it more complicated or something like that.
Yeah.
But the main thing is a lot of people just overthink it. Listen to this podcast maybe or read blogs like constantly, and they're just like, I need to gather all the knowledge before I go. And it's just like, just go and do it, and it's gonna work out.
Yeah. See, I think part of that is because when you decided to do it, you let everybody know that was in your immediate vicinity, your job. I mean, not necessarily, you didn't maybe tell them what you were going to do it, but you got everybody on the same page of, I've decided to do this and this is the timeline. So let's just, whatever goodbyes we need to say at the moment, we'll do it at the moment. Whatever preparations we need to make, we'll do it at the moment. But I think probably the biggest thing was that you decided to do it first and very, very affirmatively, this is what I'm going to do. And everything else kind of like, fell into place because even as you're like, I mean, I like to think we're best friends.
Yeah.
In one way that could be a really kind of like tough thing to wrap my head around this fact that you're going to be basically somewhere else the better part of the year where we went from roommates. Yeah. But I mean, if it weren't for you doing this, we wouldn't have moments like tonight where you're freaking hiding in my shower after 6 months.
Cracking a beer. Can't do that with too many people.
And that's like one of so many great memories. Like now when you come back full of stories, it's like, oh man. I mean, first of all, not only do we pick up exactly where we left off.
That's what I always tell people because we're loosely in touch.
We really don't talk that much.
We'll blast a text that'll be like 1 or 2 responses every month or so at best.
But after, 12 seconds, we're pretty much...
Hey, I'm here. I'm cracking a beer. Not even that. I'm cracking a beer. Yeah. Hey, I'm here.
Exactly. To the point where we have new inside jokes that we're even leaving your listeners out of that we formulated like 30 seconds ago. Yeah. But so
more to your point is that I did let you and everybody know, and that almost puts the pressure on you because then, like, if I were to all of a sudden be like, "Oh no, I'm not going to do it," then everyone would be like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah,
so
that's
almost
true.
By telling people, you're just pressuring yourself. It's harder to back out.
And if you leave like one string flowing there, it's easier for you to get kind of tied back in a sense. Like, so you kind of uniformly said, everybody that cares about me, that's close to me, this is what I want to do. But if you kind of left someone out of that plan, like, oh, I don't know, let me see you until the last day, and then I have to tell them. Yeah,
that's then like, you could tell everyone else, like, oh, well.
Right, and then that's one thing that could kind of tie you back. So I guess it's like once you realize that it's something you really feel like you need to do, first of all, you don't need to do it for how many years now?
It's just over 10.
Just over 10. Yeah. Some people may really benefit from a lifestyle like this for 3 months or 6 months or, even a couple of weeks in some senses. And I think your advice to them would be just as valuable because, you've been at every stage. You've been at the 1 month. Your first ride that you picked up that you probably described in the first podcast of getting a sandwich made for you.
Oh, yeah. That was a pretty good first ride.
Oh, yeah. That's good luck.
Here's a sandwich. Let's get you down to Santa Monica. All right. I can get on board with this.
Yeah. So, in a sense, I think what's cool is that you're showing the entire spectrum of, what you can do if you decide to do this. It could be a short-term thing just to get some fresh perspective on life, and then return to your job maybe, or, whatever, with a real kind of new look on what you want to get out of life.
Well, yeah, I met a lot of people who've done it for like a year or something. And then they really just talk about, I miss my kitchen, I miss my bed, I miss my own bathroom, like peeing in peace, which you came close to accomplishing. But then they appreciate it way more. So when they get back, they're like cooking more, and then they're like really being productive because you do lose a little bit of productivity.
What I think is cool is that, I mean, seeing the way that, like, even tonight, you know, and I would remember thinking a couple of weeks ago, man, I miss Kenny. I wonder when I'm going to see him again. I think for someone that has no schedule whatsoever, you've actually really done a great job of keeping in touch with the people that you care about, you know? So in a sense, when you left, you weren't really leaving anything behind. You were doing your own thing, you know? And, you know, as your friend, even though I may only see you like once every 6 months, like I feel like the time that
you probably got friends in the city you only see every 6 months.
You're absolutely right.
Like,
You're absolutely right. And when we get back together, we don't have nearly as rich a conversation as you and I do. You know, when you come back into town, you know, and I know you see your family a lot, and you know, so I think I like your circular sort of fashion. You know, in your traveling, you know, you definitely branch out and get to exotic places, but you find a way back and you kind of circle and you bring the people that are close to you kind of in on those experiences, which is cool because it's almost like everybody's sort of kind of getting the benefit of those experiences as well. You know, it's cool to hear you talk about, you know, your time in Thailand or the beers that you had in Belgium, you know, or being able to relate to you about, you know, experiences you had in Ireland, which is one of the few places I have been to. So I can actually...
You were there for like a week or two, right?
2 weeks the first time.
You're there twice.
Twice, yeah. Ireland is definitely, you know, outside of this country, it's the place that I've been to the most. And both times was with my dad, which is awesome because we got that...
That would have been cool to all catch up over there. That's
that would have been awesome. Yeah. And I think he wants to go back. Jasmine wants to go. I love Ireland. I think it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, especially fresh coming off of there. It's like, I love that place.
Oh, it's so cool. I mean, the people really are, you know, amazing.
That's what makes it. I mean, the scenery is just like gravy on the whole situation. But
well, one of the things I always talk about is that, you know, Sean and I moved to the city to play music, and our idea of New York back in 2003 when we moved here was that, you know, you would like sit down at any pub or you know, bar and play music, and everybody would come in and they would genuinely show interest in what you were doing and they would appreciate it, and then you could learn from other people. And to a certain extent, New York is like that, but it is not nearly as organic as you would hope. Well, yeah, you know, it's very much, you know, you book your show, you really have to hustle to bring other people to get to your show, even to get that show in the first place. You have to have a certain draw that you bring. And in Ireland, I don't know how much of this you saw, but my dad and I saw quite a bit.
People are playing in the seats, you know.
People are playing in the seats. There was one night we were in Doolin, and Doolin, I don't know if you got there.
Not this recent trip, but a couple years ago.
Doolin is an amazing like a fishing town. It has maybe 5 B&Bs, 2 bars, 3 bars. There's like a 5-to-2 ratio of B&Bs to bars. Wow. And that's the entire thing. And I remember a couple things. One, I had the best probably the best soup I've ever had in my life, because it was a fish stew, and when you put the spoon in, you got like a fillet of salmon. I mean, you're not getting little bits of fish. I mean, it was like everything was a huge piece of fish. It was so fresh. It was so good. But the other thing I remember is that they had a live performance that night, and it wasn't like a hugely advertised sort of performance. It was just something that happened, and you can tell it just happened on a daily or a weekly basis. And there were 2 guys that were Americans. I think they were from Portland. And they were staying at one of the other B&Bs, and one of them was he was a fiddle player, and he I guess knew the Irish trio that was based in Ireland that happened to be playing at the pub that night, and he was flipping out that they were playing there while he was staying there, and so I don't know if they told him or he took it upon himself. He went back to his B&B, picked up his fiddle, came back to the bar and sat in with them and played with them. And it was just like the coolest thing. It was like, yeah, this is what music is about. You know, you've got accomplished artists that have millions of hits on YouTube, and you have this guy that's traveling from the States and he's passionate about it, and he's sitting in with them. And you know what? Everybody, there was no artificial hype or attention being drawn to it. It was just everybody appreciating the music.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
It's badass. I think Sean just called. I hope I didn't interrupt the recording.
No, it's good.
Let me just check.
Yeah.
We should call him. Oh, yeah. We're still good.
Okay.
Yeah. I did love that about Ireland.
Yeah. Okay. He did FaceTime me again. So let's do this again.
All right, now we're gonna have a live FaceTime in with Sean, Mark's brother. This is a first on the Freestyle Travel Show.
You guys can see him, right? No.
As long as he picks up.
Schlitz malt liquor.
Crazy bastard blowing us both up. There we go.
Hey.
You're live.
I know.
Good, man. Good. We're actually doing a podcast right now.
Yeah, you're on it now. He put him towards the microphone.
Well, I did see the live thing or the thing that your wife sent over about Kenny hiding in a shower.
Sean, it was the craziest thing ever. So here's what happened. This is great because this is on the podcast. I already told you guys, but I'm going to tell them.
You might
again.
as well keep him pointed towards the microphone.
Okay, I'm going to keep you pointed towards the microphone. So, Sean, I get home from work. I'm tired from work. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I use the bathroom. I wash my face. And I already saw Jasmine. I knew the kids were in their room, right? And then from the shower, I'm in there. I already used the bathroom. From the shower, I hear a click of a beer being opened. And then I freeze because I'm so confused. I have no idea what's going on. And then what do I hear? A beer being poured. And then I slowly open the curtain. I don't even know what I was expecting. And Kenny is standing in my shower. He was there the whole time I was peeing. And he hands me a beer.
And he goes, derp for derp.
Well, minus the derp and derp. But yeah, how crazy is that?
Well, I saw at least on when Jasmine caught from the video, she caught you opening the shower up.
Yeah.
Oh, she got there in time, huh?
Yeah. It was really, really bizarre. So can you just see the microphone now? Sean?
Oh, I can see your kitchen.
Well, but there's a microphone here. Say hi to the listeners on Kenny's podcast.
Hi, it's all the listeners on Kenny the Hobo's podcast. We'd like to invite you to hear the regaling stories of Kenny going around the country, telling about all his adventures and misadventures. He will talk to you about the beer that he has had and the wonderful burgers he has tried. Stay tuned, my listeners.
There we go. That's well done.
It's a free plug for my own show on my show.
It's almost like we had a commercial on your podcast.
Hi, Sean. Now you can see my face.
What beers are you drinking?
At the moment, we're drinking Oktoberfest. We were drinking some Melvin.
Some Schlitz malt liquor here.
We drank some, what is this called? German hobo?
Dark Horse, the German hobo malt liquor.
Yeah, I had to get that one, of course. Yeah.
Are you doing that because Kenny was beating a dead horse?
Yeah, pretty much. We got robot
with a
fish.
dead horse.
Robot fish.
Yeah, we've had some decent beers
What's the
tonight.
ABV on it?
Everything's pretty much 7 and up. Oh, this is 6.6.
7 Up, that'd be a good beer. 7 Up IPA.
The Melvin is 7.5, and the Schlitz malt liquor is this is 9 point something, 9.5.
Did you really buy Schlitz malt liquor?
No, it's hobo malt liquor. Oh, and then we had some of Dad's limoncello, which is intense. You're gonna try it when you come. And
Smooth.
and then what else? We had this chili liqueur, which I'm referring to as ambush, but it's ambush.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty delicious.
Did you show Kenny your cask?
I did.
Oh, I was about to say show it to the listeners, but they can't hear that picture.
Tell them I showed you.
Yeah, no, it's badass. Yeah. For the listeners of the podcast, it's like a mini. I keep on like wanting to go grab
Screw
it.
the listeners.
Yeah. It's a barrel, a small. How big is that barrel? You think like a gallon? Not even. It's like a gallon-sized barrel you can put your own liquor into. Good call, Sean. I'm giving him a thumbs up.
Good call, listeners.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Good call, listeners. We got our thumbs up. Not even hitchhiking.
Kenny,
Is this the
how
weird
long,
one? Say again?
How long are you in town for?
I'm here for a little less than a week. Then I'm hitching down to North Carolina Or no, I got a megabus most of the way, and then I'm hitching to Blake's, my brother's, for those listeners out there. Brothers. And then I might be your way in December. California.
Ken's going to Cali.
Sean's coming to us from San Diego. Yup.
All right.
Wow.
All right, buddy. I'll call you back when we're not on the air, as we say in the industry.
You guys are obviously crack on it with this podcast.
Hey, this is a professional venture, Sean.
I must like it.
He hung up on us.
I know, good timing.
I haven't poured my beer yet.
Yeah, what the hell? I'm almost halfway done with my Oktoberfest.
Do you want some more ambush, or would you like something else?
We can mix it up a little bit.
All right. What else do I have in addition to the ambush? You keep talking to the listeners.
Oh, yeah. If you guys are still listening, y'all are champs. Actually, it's been pretty entertaining. I'm going to listen to it again. I don't listen to all my podcasts. I usually listen to the first few minutes just to make sure the audio quality doesn't suck. Yeah, mezcal's good. But
This is always nighty night juice right here.
Naughty night.
Yeah, this is it's 48%.
Yeah. At this point in the episode, I should say that Mark and I, we touched on it, but we used to have a show which can't be found anymore on the internet called Visibly Drunk, where we'd essentially do this. This is the throwback to our Visibly Drunk episode days where, we would just throw on the camera and just start drinking some good booze and talking it up.
Yeah. Usually I would poorly read the back of the label of
Oh, so that was sort of a trick I pulled on you.
Remember
when I first started traveling, Camus for you.
Oh, jeez.
So one of the liquors. So we would usually for that show, Visibly Drunk, we'd have a bunch of stuff, but we'd always have one weird bottle, some cheapo or something. And one of them was called Camus for you. It was like a yellow and purple label.
Yeah, which worked for you because your Lakers obsession.
It was weird. But when I first started traveling, I got a bottle of it and I put it under the couch cushions. And I waited a while.
A long time.
Like months. At least several months. And then I called or texted Mark and I was just like, look under the couch cushion.
Yeah,
it was a
so weird.
Full bottle of terrible liquor. Yeah. waiting
Thanks,
for
Ken.
you.
So I think we should keep this
good
tradition alive, and I think you should read the back of this bottle.
All right. What do we got here?
Nope, the back.
Real Perla del Pacifico.
I apologize to all you Spanish-speaking listeners.
Real Perla.
Yep. Yeah,
Perla?
just read the back of that, then.
Oh, shit. Este mezcal te traes tras generaciones hemos venido elaborando artesanalmente para no perder el aroma y sabor inconfundible de un buen mezcal como esperado de Pacífico en sus diferentes presentaciones.
You thought you could just speed through it, huh?
My Espanol has gotten pretty sick lately.
You forgot that Hecho in Mexico.
Hecho in Mexico.
Wow. All right, yeah, this is some pretty badass mezcal.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Shooter up.
Definitely. No, sipper.
Yeah. Ooh, I like the smell of it.
It's so good. How awesome is that?
Man. It's like smoky, but then clean, clear.
Oh, this one is so freaking good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Chris, my father-in-law, always brings us back from Mexico when he visits. And it's just strong. I mean, it's 48% by volume, but it's super smooth. It's got the smokiness that you expect from mezcal. Definitely that kind of like sweet sort of aftertaste. But I mean, it's good stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Not like that Schlitz malt liquor you brought here.
Yeah. Took you a while to sip through this one. I don't know.
I thought I was still drinking. No, I did finish it. Thank God.
Yeah. Got Oktoberfest in a glass now. Get through this.
Oh my goodness. This definitely feels like Visibly Drunk all over again.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
The only thing I miss is that, remember when you would piece together those episodes and you would do like different parts of the conversation?
So over the course of an hour, we would get more and more visibly drunk. So like, you remember how at one point my hair, like I had reversed the part and it was like all the way on the other side of my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I was saying.
Well, no, with those episodes, we went on like, we'll probably cut this off in the next little bit, but those ones were like, we would record for a couple hours or more. So on a couple of, some of them I just let them rock.
On the hills of Piedmont,
But once or twice I edited them, so it was like a lot of back and
That
forth.
was so great. The best was the outtakes one, because that one was like a 2-hour episode brought down to 7 minutes.
I got 7 minutes of content after talking for 2 hours.
I went from completely coherent and sober to completely like messed up.
Well, it was called visibly drunk.
And you worked them in, so it like alternated. So I'd be like, anyway, so we're here today. You giving him.
We got to go back and watch those maybe after this.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Sweet.
Yeah, man, this is fun.
You got any crazy trips planned?
No, Sean was talking about maybe us going to San Diego to chill with him a little bit.
He's rocking out here at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. Try to get together a little bit, play some pool, maybe grab some cigars. I don't know what else we're gonna do. I know he wants a good Manhattaner too.
Sweet.
Sean's always on the search for a good cocktail in California.
Gotta put some good beer in his face. Not that he doesn't get enough in California.
Yeah, I should stock this thing up for him. Yeah, besides that, I don't know. I'm going into the busy season now at my job. So I'll be kind of, head in the game for a little bit. But
yeah, we should definitely throw some fancy clothes on me if you got them. And
yeah.
pop in.
Oh, absolutely.
Pop in one
live
of these days.
podcast there.
Yeah.
You guys can follow
Live
Kenny
from the
until he gets
21
kicked out of my job.
Fucking hell.
We have so many characters in my job, man. I mean, like, when I say characters, I don't mean like, you know how sometimes people are like, oh, there's this lady at work and she's fine. No.
Mark works at a fancy pants pre-prohibition club. Is that the marketing term for it?
It's Prohibition era. So it's been around for 80 some years. But like, I have this one guy. He's like, he really is like Joe Pesci. Like he really is. Like he walks
Is he
in.
Joe Pesci?
No. Although one day, see, I don't know how much of this I can talk about. I guess I can. Tony Danza was there one day, and I didn't realize it was him.
Yeah.
So when he came to the bar, I thought I knew I recognized him, and because we have so many regular customers, I greeted him like any other regular customer because I recognized his face. So I was like, hey. And he, in turn, was like, hey. And then I was like, oh, shit, it's Tony Danza. But it was kind of funny because then we just launched off into a normal conversation as if we knew each other.
Both pretending.
Yeah, I just rolled with it, yeah.
Probably both met a ton of people and you're just
Yeah.
just roll with this.
Yeah, no, we have some, but yeah. So like this regular customer, he's funny. I'm not going to mention any names, but Joe Pesci sort of look like he always comes in. He's got like, he's always wearing a blazer and like suit jacket and or suit pants and everything. But his shirt is unbuttoned, like 4 buttons. So it's almost down to like mid chest.
It's a style. Hairy ass chest.
Oh yeah, hairy ass chest. Sometimes you can see his middle button becomes unbuttoned too, so his belly pops out.
Damn.
He doesn't order a drink when he comes in. He simply does a circular motion with his finger to insinuate "stir me a Stoli martini."
Okay.
And he has, I think, 2 sons. I know at least one of them is his son, and they meet him after a certain period of time. They're so funny. Like this is one of those guys where like everything he says, he alternates between telling you he loves you and you're a bastard. Like, so everything.
Oh, those are the best.
He came in one time like an hour before we opened. Like we weren't even open yet, right? So an hour before, it's like 10:45 in the morning. He walks up to the back bar, which is you gotta really venture into the restaurant a little bit to get to the back bar. He shows up at the bar and he's like, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna stir me up a Stoli martini and you're gonna top me off. You're not gonna charge me for anything, okay? I love you, you bastard. I hate you.
These guys still exist.
Yeah. And then like his son will come in and he'll be like, oh, I don't know if I want anything to drink. Oh, I got so plastered this weekend. I don't want to get fucked up. You got any wine? I don't know. Got like a Shiraz? You got a Shiraz? I'll have that because I can't get fucked up. I just can't. They're funny, man. Yeah, we got some funny customers.
I'll drop in. I'll try to see some of these guys firsthand. I've
probably
only been
will.
there the one time.
Yeah.
Would have been around the holidays, whenever that was.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
No, this
How
is
long
still
have you been there for?
going on 5 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm eligible for 3 weeks vacation. So back
I
to your
remember
point,
that first time
travel a
I
little
found
bit.
shoes on the street. They were like perfectly good.
Yes.
That's how I got in there.
Yeah, I remember that
Along
too.
with there's probably my picture on the wall. Yeah, I found out later when the tassels were gone from one of the shoes, and that's why they were on the curb.
Oh, yeah. No, if your picture is on the wall, then it's definitely next to some other people's pictures.
These freaking guys nowadays.
No, we're going to dress you up nice. We're going to get you over there.
Fancy.
You know what? You're going to stir me up a story.
Yeah, stir me.
You're not going to charge me. Everything's on the house today. He always he orders. We have spatzel on the moment, or spatula. I don't know what the pronunciation.
Spatula? You just smack someone with a spatula?
Wait. That's what he calls it. So the technical term is, I think it's spatula. Spatula. It's like a German dish. It's like little like pieces of pasta, right? Okay. He calls it a spatula, and he's committed to it at this point. And now I even call it spatula too, even though I know that's not what it's called. So, he'll come in and he'll be like, so first he'll twirl his finger around. Okay, Stoli Martini. Gotcha. All right. Done. Then he'll try to like get some free food before he orders anything.
What, just like some extra chicken wings kicking around?
Got any of those pretzels? You got the pretzels? No, I've got the mixed nuts. Mixed nuts, the crackers, the wasabi piece. No, I'm on a diet. I don't want anything fattening. Listen, you got the spatula? They still got the spatula on the menu? Yeah, I think they do. All right, listen, I don't want any butter. I'm getting fat. Am I getting fat? How many pounds do I have to lose? Okay, listen, give me the spatula. Just cook it with olive oil and burn it.
Burn anything that might resemble fat.
It says burn it.
Do you burn it?
Oh yeah, they burn it. And then afterwards, once he's done, he'll be like, it was good, but I ate too much, right? I ate too much. Just give me the ice cream sundae for this.
Another Stoli.
Oh yeah, then top me. I'll be back later. And then he gets up and he doesn't pay for his check. He comes back 2 hours later. I told him one day, I was like, listen, we're closed at 3 o'clock for a private event. He said, I'll see you at 2:30. He didn't show up. I saw him the next day. I put the drink on his check.
Shit. Does he work nearby, or do you not even know about his outside life?
No, there was one. The only thing I know about his outside life is that one day he asked me for a pen and paper, and the only thing I had on hand was the old school carbon copies for when you sign your checks. So I give him that, and he writes on top of it, and he ends up putting a whole check information like 2 or 3 layers down. So the next day I come in and I see like a personal check just saying.
Jeez, this guy doesn't care about security.
No. And then there was one day he didn't even ask to use my phone. He told me to give him my phone. And so he came in because we were charging his phone in like one of the other rooms, and he couldn't be bothered to like find the person that was charging his phone. So he said, just give me your phone. So I give him my phone. I don't know why, because I know him at this point. And as crazy as it is, like he's a nice guy. So I give him my phone, and then he's on the phone for like 2 minutes. He's trying to call someone, and then he makes another call. And at that point, and I'm trying not to say his name. I said, can I just get my phone back? He's like, I'm using it. So I'm like, all right. So he sits down and he continues to make calls for about 15 minutes. I checked my call log later that night. There were 15 calls made in the span of 10 minutes.
He was probably doing some scamming and stuff.
It's like nobody was even picking up the calls. It's like he was just...
Oh, they're like 3-second calls? Like...
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyway, so...
I'll drop in.
You could be one of those clientele.
I'll try to.
Stir me up and Stoli.
All right, let's wrap up.
Oh, man.
This edition of the podcast. We'll still stay up and drink these beers.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for having me on your show, Mr. Flannery.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you.
Not that you had a choice.
I had no choice. But guys, keep listening up. You have plenty to learn, as do I, from this wise old traveler here.
cheers to you, and cheers to you, Mr. Flannery.
Cheers.
All right, bud.
Cool. Friggin' Mark. That was a good time. If you stuck with that whole episode, cheers. So I'm here in New York for just a few more days to the weekend. And I'll be heading down to North Carolina. I got one of those dollar megabus tickets to Fayetteville, which will via probably Philly and DC. It's like $1. It's crazy. I was able to get them in advance. That's the only way you get those megabus tickets. Throw a little tip in there. If you've never heard of megabus, check it out. It's in Europe too. But yeah, you can get dollar bus tickets if you book far enough in advance. I'll be going down there. My brother's in North Carolina now, so I'll definitely hitch from Fayetteville to where he's at on the coast, and then start making my way to Mississippi, and on from there. There'll be some episodes in between. So y'all know how to find me. FreestyleTravelShow.com, HoboLifestyle.com, everywhere. All right, you guys. I'll see you down the road.
I need a new escape. With all my shit straight, I'll get my big red.